One of the reasons why you cannot become confident yet is because somehow you have placed too many expectations on yourself. I can say this for a fact that a lot of people who you find confident online are not really the kind of people you would see being confident otherwise. The main problem with the current world is that too many people are wanting to be like other people, so that is why you do not have a sense of individuality. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot be inspired by people, but the problem is that when you're trying to be too inspired, you're somehow also losing yourself in the process. So let's just say that today I want to become a super confident human being, but my expectations of myself are not based on something that I really want to see in myself, but it is because there is a benchmark that somebody else has set. Now, what happens as a result of this is that because somebody else has been able to do something that you cannot really think of, you are now thinking that maybe you're less, and that in itself is making you become a victim in your own understanding, and you do not really know how to function around that stuff. So you see, what happens is that a lot of times you are becoming your own enemy in the process, because your benchmark is not something that you are setting by yourself. You're just putting yourself in a position where you're comparing yourself with someone who has achieved something through their own accord. Like, their journey has been very different, but you somehow think that you have to live up to that particular benchmark, and that's why you're feeling less about yourself. So how do you break free of this particular loop? You have to understand that your timeline is different, somebody else's timeline is different. Not that someone can be as good as you, or you don't have to be as good as someone else. Stop wasting time on social media. A lot of your worries are also because you see certain things online and you constantly compare yourself with that. Okay, so somebody holidaying in London, somebody holidaying in Paris, somebody going for a world tour, all of that put together, it's making you into this very insecure human being who has failed to acknowledge the gifts that he or she already has. Now, I'm not saying that these people are doing something which they shouldn't be doing. I'm just saying that even if they are doing those things, there will be a time when you will also be able to do that kind of stuff. So let's just say that today you want to go on a world tour. Do you know tomorrow there might be a situation like this where you will be able to do the same? You don't know that yet. So the possibilities of you experiencing things that already are there in your head, those possibilities are not out there in front of you because somehow they are not willing to show themselves to you at the moment. But that does not mean that it's not there. So the problem with people also is that they want to see something before they can believe it. But no holy textbook or no philosophical textbook will ever tell you this, that you have to first see it and then believe it. It's always like you have to believe it first in order to see it. So if you think that you are deserving of all the good things that this life has to offer, you're definitely going to experience that stuff. But if you give up at the very onset, you're again giving a message to the cosmos that maybe you don't deserve the things that you are dreaming about. Because desire in itself means that the universe wants it to be fulfilled. But you are standing in your own way of progress or improvement or any kind of advancement is because somehow you're second doubting yourself, you're second guessing yourself, you're telling yourself the wrong kind of stories that you shouldn't be saying. So you're doing this because somehow the lack of evidence is creating this ripple effect inside your brain that maybe something is not possible because you don't see the way how something can be accomplished. So if I want to buy a car, I don't have money, how am I going to buy the car? This is the story that you tell yourself, but you never tell a story to yourself which is about maybe somebody can gift me the car. You don't tell those stories to yourself. So that's why you're constantly in your head and you're calculating too many things and you're connecting one thing with the other, which is why it is creating this sort of a rift between what you want and what you want to see, but you're not able to see it. In order to break that loop again, you have to first understand how your brain functions. So if you see that you go into this negative loop, stop right there. Okay, you don't have to tell yourself those kind of stories because those stories are not true. What makes you think that you are not going to be able to experience the things that you're dreaming about? You don't know what tomorrow holds. So technically, when you think negative, you feel that you're being realistic, And when you think positive, you think that you're being unrealistic. But what if being positive is the only way how you can achieve things in life? You don't know that. So until and unless you have experimented being positive like 24/7, until and unless you have thought about yourself in a certain way that, okay, I can experience that stuff, you're never going to experience it. Because like I said, you have to believe it first in order to experience it. The whole point of living this life is to be able to experience everything and anything that comes in our way. So when there are good days, there are going to be bad days also. You have to stop being so entitled that you're only going to experience the good stuff. Because in order to appreciate the good stuff, you also have to be able to make peace with the bad stuff. That is how you know what works for you, what doesn't work for you. The way you feel about something is also the same way how you feel about the other things in life. So let's say thinking about love makes you feel really stupid, you're going to feel stupid anyway. Because the most beautiful things that you are aspiring for, they will not come with a warning. Because that's the whole point, that you are supposed to experience these things when you're not chasing them anymore. Chasing something is only going to make you more and more miserable. So what do you need to do? You need to stop chasing stuff first. You need to stop chasing the perfect life. You need to stop chasing what is being sold to you as perfect. Even if your skin is not okay, you're still beautiful. Even if you don't have the amount of money that you're wanting, you're still all right. Things are always going to work out for you. You do not have to wonder how they're going to work for you. They're just going to work for you. That is all that you need to believe. I'll see you in the next